Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and join us in L'Chadodi.
If you can, with Adama. It's on page 2 of your Siddur, and it starts off with a call and a reply. And so feel free. If you don't have words, you just have to follow me.
It's a song all about the earth and our connection to it.
Adama,
Adama, Shamayim,
Hey,
can feel it in my body, in my spirit, in my soul. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, 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 oh.
Adama,
Adama,
Shamayim,
Vishamayim,
Om Ha'esh,
Om Ha'esh,
Tzil Hamayim,
Tzil Hamayim, Ve'anitzot, Nevuki, Nevuki, Ve'nishmati.
love the earth,
Love the earth,
love the sky,
love the sky,
eat of fire,
eat of fire,
drop of blood.
drop of
Together.
water. I can feel it in my body, in my spirit, in my soul. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, 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 oh. Shabbat Shalom once again, everyone, and welcome to our home. We're still here, as you are in your homes, sheltering in place, and it's sad that we can't be together physically, but wonderful that through this modern technology we can create community and be together through the internet. We sang the last song, Adama, because this week the Jewish world begins the fourth book of the Torah, which is Bamidbar, or Bemidbar, which means in the desert or in the wilderness. And it just seemed like an appropriate connection, all about the earth and the wind and the fire and the rain and our connection to the earth. And it's quite a story, you know, the image of wilderness and of desert and what that means and the potential that is there for growth and for adventure, as difficult as it can be. And last week we talked about gratitude. This week we talk about the wilderness. That will be our theme. And I want to offer you a prompt, something to think about and something to share if you like, as we did last week. If the Spirit moves you, if you want to share, go ahead and type it into the chat, and we'll see it here. Others will see it who are watching their screens, and we will probably try to pick up a few and share them as we go through our service. The prompt is this: where do you go, either physically or even mentally, even just in your mind, to find a sense of inner peace or security? And I don't mean just the desert, although for some that might be their special place. Where do you go to find inner peace or a sense of security? Think about it as we pray our service together and share if you like. And now, if you haven't already, give you a few moments to go and get candles to light for Shabbat so that you can light with us and bring the warmth and the light into your home. If you don't have a Shabbat candle, as I say every week, any candle, a votive candle will work. And let us sing together, Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat us light our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
And as our service continues, we invite you to rise as we join together in the call to worship the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai
Mevorach, Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu advarim ha'ela asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shokpecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'lohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim V'hiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Hey Siri, directions, Temple Israel. We all have these gadgets today, don't we? And we have GPS on our phone, global positioning satellite. I was thinking about that when I was studying the Parsha, the Torah portion, with its theme of wilderness and desert. And I was thinking, our ancestors found themselves in the desert for 40 years wandering, and they didn't have GPS. They didn't even have a compass. But then I thought again, what? God actually did give them a compass, because God gave our ancestors the Torah, a moral compass, and it served them well in their 40 years of wandering, as it served them well in their life as a nation in ancient Israel, and also in the expulsion and Babylonian exile and in the diaspora, wherever we Jews lived, in Spain, in Poland, in Germany, in France, in England, in the United States, in South America, on every continent, wherever Jews lived, we had our moral compass. We had the Torah to guide us, and it has served us well and continues to serve us well. I know this might sound corny, but need I say, maybe it's a GPS, a God positioning system that keeps us strong.
That's cute.
And that guides our way. And now let us sing Micha Mocha, our song of redemption, the song we sang at the beginning of that journey.
is at the beach, feet in the sand, quiet, true calm. A warm hug by a loved one always grounds me. We find our inner peace at the water, sailing or just walking on the beach. I find peace walking on the beach and hearing and smelling the ocean. My inner peace place is in the mountains, looking at the stars from my cabin patio. My inner peace is Tahoe in the snow, skiing down a mountain. I feel like I'm connected to the world.
Thank you for sharing. I love those places. And if you can't go there right now, go there in your mind and find that inner peace as we continue to welcome Shabbat. And we rise now for the Amidah.
Hagibor v'hanora El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'konei Hakol V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Ve'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Michayei hakol Atah Rav le'Hoshia Mechacher Chaim b'Chesed Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim veropech olim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato lishanei afar Michamocha b'gevurot Umido melech Melech memit umechayei umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman nata l'hachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai michayei hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelu chaselah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
The prayer Modim talks about giving thanks. And we do that every Shabbat and hopefully every day. And we thank are thankful for technology, except when it doesn't work. So
Hold on, technical difficulties.
okay, so I'm going to read
Just
a
1
few more.
second.
My inner peace is smiling. My inner peace is singing along with my favorite Shabbat songs after another busy week. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Le'olam, Le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu, magen yeshenu, atahu ledor v'ador, atahu ledor v'ador. Nodeh, nodeh lecha, unesaper tehillatcha, al chayenu ha'mesurim beyadecha. Chayenu mesurim beyadecha, nishmoteinu yigdor lach. Lo chalu rachamecha, lo tamu chasadecha, me'olam kivinu lach, me'olam kivinu lach. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Le'olam, Le'olam va'ed.
Thank you, Lindy, for that beautiful Shabbat gift and inspiration. And thank you to Steve for recording the accompaniment and sending it to us for us to play through the Bluetooth. I think it worked very nicely. And so wonderful to hear the two of you singing and playing together tonight. And now let's take a few moments to turn inward, to have a few quiet moments to pray, to search our own hearts and our own minds, perhaps find that place in your mind that gives you inner peace and security as we take a few moments for silent meditation. And there's a beautiful meditation on the middle of page 7 that you might want to read. shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael amen. Oh, say shalom Imrohav. Uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael
While Jason is getting ready to speak, I know some are having trouble hearing and can't get their closed caption to work, so we'll make sure that Jason speaks a little bit louder for the sermon to make sure that you can hear every word. So,
And if you're hearing a little bit of noise in the background, our next door neighbor decided to have a swimming party tonight. There's a lot of noise and merrymaking out there, but that's okay. This is real. It's not recorded. Just part of our world. I don't know about you, but there are days when I find myself so keyed up, so anxious and overwhelmed by the sensory overload and the stressors of my life that I just feel like running away. It's not just the expectations of my job or my family or other responsibilities. Those come with the territory, as they say. But it's the constant feeling on top of all that of being bombarded by the electronic images and an overabundance of information as I go from my cell phone to my desktop to my tablet to the television, especially these days when almost every face-to-face meeting or conversation with another human being outside my family is online. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm so grateful that we have these technological marvels that keep us connected. Thank God for Zoom and YouTube and Facebook. If we didn't have them, you and I would not be connected with one another right now, experiencing virtual community. But at some point, my brain, no, my whole body actually says, Dayenu, enough! I just need to shut it all down and get away. For me, these days, that usually means going out to my backyard, which is my happy place, and doing a little pruning or pulling some weeds. It's there amongst the flowers and the trees and the calming waters of my pool that I can clear my mind and find a little peace. You know, there actually is a biological explanation for all this. We humans are hardwired and evolutionarily adapted for survival out in an analog world. Our ancestors lived in harmony with their environment. Their brains were adapted for survival and socializing in an environment that wasn't always forgiving. They had to be vigilant and always alert, using all of their senses to search for food as well as looking out for predators. They lived in an environment that was 3D, not 3G, as we tend to live today. Just think about the way so many kids are growing up. They live in an increasingly artificial online world where their only sources of sensory input are their electronic gadgets. They spend less time outside than previous generations and are not allowed to blow off some steam by playing outside unsupervised. Just contrast that to the way so many of us grew up, when we rode our bikes all around the neighborhood in groups from house to the next, from playground to abandoned lot or nearby field. I remember when I was a kid, my buddies and I would ride our bikes to a place we called the Wash. It was, I guess, an overflow for the storm drain system, and there was water running through and trees, and we used to swing on a rope over a tree that put us out over the water. If my parents knew that, they would have killed me. Those were such great opportunities for exploration and social interaction. It should come as no surprise that there is a surge in attention deficit disorder when we send the kids of this generation to school and we expect them to sit still and learn. This week, we begin the 4th book of the Torah, which in Hebrew is called Bamidbar, which we can translate as either in the desert or in the wilderness. The timeline of the narrative is the 40 years of wandering our ancestors endured in their journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. It's not the first time, however, nor the last, that the Bible takes us on a wilderness experience. It's not the first time that the desert, or more broadly defined, the wilderness, is featured in our tradition as a place of great transformation and growth. Consider just a few examples. Abraham, the first of our patriarchs, is sent by God on a journey to a far-off land, to a place he did not know, with the command, Yihye bracha, to be a blessing. Jacob runs away from his home and his family into the wilderness, where he experiences amazing dreams and great adversity, and he is totally transformed as a human being. His name is changed from Jacob, whose root letters mean the heel, to Yisrael, one who wrestles with God. And Moses, long before the Exodus journey, runs away from Pharaoh's palace into the wilderness, becoming a simple shepherd until he is ready to assume his role in redeeming our people, going back to Egypt to deliver the powerful message, "Let my people go." Now, I could go on and on with other examples, but I think I've made my point. The wisdom lesson behind all these stories is that sometimes we just need to break away. We need to leave the routines and confines of our everyday life, the conventions and boundaries that define our own little corner of the world, and go to a more expansive place, physically or mentally or spiritually, to clear our minds and cleanse our souls. It is through these experiences that we have the opportunity to take a few steps back and look more objectively at the big picture, to think about who we are and who and what we want to be. Today, that might simply mean unplugging from the electronic gadgets and giving them a rest, maybe even for just a 24-hour Shabbat. Spend some time in the real world instead, by going outside, taking a walk in nature, or even just in your neighborhood. Recent studies have shown that symptoms of stress and anxiety can be decreased with time spent in natural settings. If you can carve out more time, outdoor activities like camping or just communing with nature in some way can actually restore your circadian rhythm or biological clock. There are other opportunities for growth and restoration that we need to take when we can. As the world is opening up and you feel safe to go out, go to the park, or go to the ocean, or go to the desert. It will not be difficult to maintain physical distancing there, that I can assure you. If you can, take a vacation and think about the root meaning of the word to vacate, to get away, to leave your everyday surroundings for someplace new. Go to a place that will not only give you time to rest, but to a place that will nourish and awaken all your senses. In Bamidbar, our people were on a journey in the wilderness, a place where they needed to go to transform themselves from a ragtag group of former slaves with a slave mentality to a free people. It is there where they were given the Torah, and thus given a deeper mission to be an Or LaGoyim, a light unto the nations. You know, it doesn't take 40 years to travel by foot from Egypt to Israel, but they needed to take time out, just as we do, before we reach the promised lands of our future. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will. Amen.
Amen.
We say special blessings in each of our services, and especially blessings for good health and healing for our friends and our family members who are ailing and need our help and our strength. This week we pray especially for Eliyahu HaKohen Ben Laila, Diane Dakin, Samantha Porteous, Patty Sines, Craig Horan, Sally Glick, Ephraim Daniels, Rebecca Decker, Randy Watkins, Betty Morgan, Sidra Goldsmith, Paul Fairbrook, Ron and Margaret Ray, Gabrielle Lopez Smith, Ira Abramson, Lynn Martucci, Bradley Cantor, Lori Silvaggio, Lynn King, Dana Glazier, Jackie Burke, Donnie Reichman, Charlotte Constant, Rebecca Williams, Alma Nelson, Bert Carlson, Ricardo Holbrook, Heidi Krantz, Philip Blair, Andy Bernhard, Gwen Davis, Jeanette Saphir, Barbara Navarette, Joe Valerie, and Todd Berry. And I invite each of you to recite aloud the names of your family members and your friends who are ailing and who need these prayers for Refuat Nefesh and Refuat Taguf, as we now join together in our Misha Berach prayer. add to those names mentioned aloud those of us who are in need of these same blessings for refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, for healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh hacholim. Blessed are you, O God, who heals the sick.
And those who are joining us in their Siddur, we're on page 8, and read a prayer for our country and the state of Israel.
Guardian of life and liberty, grant blessings to our country. Grant our leaders patience and wisdom. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and may we never be lazy in the work of peace. Eternal God, grant blessings to the state of Israel. Protect her people, shelter them with peace, and grant them deliverance from the violence that surrounds them. May they live in harmony with one another and with their neighbors. May the bonds of faith that unite the Jews of all lands be a source of strength and blessing to each of us and to all the world. And let us say, Amen.
My inner peace is laying beside a swimming pool in the sun and dreaming special dreams. My inner peace is hanging out at the UOP Rose Garden. It calms me and heals me. My inner peace is knowing that we are together and healthy. My peace is listening to some sweet jazz and drinking some fine wine. My inner peace is my early morning walks with my dogs. My inner peace is when I hang clothes on the clothesline. My inner peace is sitting and reading with our dog on my lap. My inner peace is hammer in hand building something. My inner peace is making music with close friends. My inner peace is the Japanese garden at Mickey Grove. My inner peace is kneading dough and braiding it into challah for Shabbat. My peace is looking at the beautiful trees and looking up at the night sky. My inner peace is yoga, baths, swimming, reading, my home, and visiting with family and friends. And finally, my inner peace, and Jason will agree, comes from puttering in my garden and from camping trips with family and friends. My peace is my family.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I think that all deserves a Rabbi Gwozdov rabbinic wow. Those were all wonderful, and I thank you for sharing them. And it's given me great inner peace to hear all those reflections about the special places that give you peace and strength. And now let us rise as we join together in Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kiguyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai l'melech ha'kol ha'aretz v'yom hahu Yeh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo Echad.
Before we conclude our service, we remember and pay tribute to the memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us physically, but whom we carry in our hearts and in our minds. We begin by naming the family members and past members of our congregation who are in the Shloshim and the Shana, the 30 days and the first year of mourning. We remember with love Joe Delgado, Mary Ann Lipkin, Phyllis Janoff, Ted Kello, Ingrid Epstein, Ronald Mendlin, Diane Ginn, I want to get that correct, Darylyn Halpern, Bill Schwartz, Sue Solomon, Joan Freer Thor, Florence Gwazdoff, Dennis Willens, John Guerin, Bill Long, Leonard Colbert, Mel Halpern, Andy Heisler, Clay Utterback, Richard Ripkin, Archie English, Carol Blumenthal, Linda Sue Morgan Ray, Jerry Yeeses, Pablo Carmona Cruz, and Oren Kabaker. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a never-ending source of strength and blessing. And these names are the names of loved ones who have a yortzeit, an anniversary of their passing sometime in the week ahead. We remember with love Abraham Eichenblatt, Solomon Goose, Geraldine Meyer, Peck Fields, Paula Dreyfus, Max Edward Nelson, Joan Schur, Neil Whitmer, Carol Bible, Charles W. Sanders, Lillian Friedberg, Leo Friedberg, Eileen May Weiss, Pearl Lewis, Walter Marino, Louise Novros, Ben Vogel, Robert Hawthorne, Robert Rodriguez, and Millie Singer. And since this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, Monday is Memorial Day, we should also add the loving memory of all the soldiers throughout the history of our country who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of democracy, in defense of the ideals of our country. And we should remember as well all the first responders and all the doctors who have made the sacrifice, who have lost their lives in the fight against COVID-19, as we remember all those who have lost their lives, more than 90,000 now, just in the past 3 months. Zichronam Livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing. Let us join together now in Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'yomah divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lomei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yama v'imru amen.
Yehei shlama
Rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
V'imru
Amen. May God grant peace to those who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say, Amen.
And our souls are always uplifted. I know mine is by beautiful music. And again, thank Beth and Steve for their contributions this evening. It really added and elevated our music, and so I really thank you. Thank you to Karma for continuing to work tirelessly to keep Temple Israel running smoothly. And finally, thank you to Ari for literally allowing Jason and I to come to you from our home to your homes in this unique but really quite wonderful way in order to celebrate Shabbat together. We are so grateful.
And thank you to all of you for joining us. We can't see you, but we definitely feel your presence, and thank you for sharing those reflections your voice was heard tonight. And let us join together in our concluding song, O Javo. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Good night. Have a great Shabbat.
Have a safe and wonderful week.